Hey guys, how's it going? Can you see me? Hey there, hey there. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. I hope you're doing well. It's Michelle here with Treecat, chilling on my floor because it's one of those days. I'm sort of like taking a vacation from my vacation, right? We just had the Christmas week and yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I actually waited until the last minute to put up all my decorations and stuff because I was trying to like curb my spending. So I figured if I don't start preparing for Christmas until a couple days before, I won't spend as much money. And that worked really well. And then the day after Christmas, I was like, took everything down. Everything was down. So I could get back to my normal life, right? Hope you all had a nice holiday, Christmas break, what have you. I've got my I wish I had a little something to put this on. Yeah, I'm trying to like see all the things, right? See the chat in case anyone wants to ask a question. I think what were we going to talk about today? Like New Year's resolutions, right? Or non-resolutions or different ways of approaching goals, right? Because this is the time of year when, and pardon me while I have my breakfast on multitasking, this is the time of year when we're kind of being asked to reflect, right? That week before New Year's, that week before 2026, every app you're on is like giving you a recap, right? They're like, this is what you did in 2025. Every single app wants me to know like all my photos that I took or all the things that I did. So it's like, how can you not sort of sit back and start to reflect your year when you're just bombarded with recaps, right? And then you know, in the media, there's recaps. Everyone's doing, the things that happen in 2025 or the news or what have you. And then, so yeah, naturally you're going to reflect about your year, right? And think about 2026 and like, what's in store for me, right? Making plans, making resolutions, thinking about trends, thinking about forecasts, right? And yeah, it's fun to think about that stuff. It's I don't know that I'll be making like some kind of large, profound resolution because I just find that for me, it's probably better. It's probably more adult of me to think in terms of goals that I can meet on a quarterly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, daily basis even, right? Because a lot of these sort of little wins, a lot of these sort of little changes can really compound and make huge change for you, as opposed to maybe in the past, maybe I would make this, this overreaching, grand statement of what I'm going to do or not do in the following year. And then I find myself, after a few months kind of burnt out, right? You hit it hard, try to reach those goals, and then you're kind of like, right? So I think for 2026, I'm going to take a different approach. And it's not about these grand sort of resolutions. It's more about little changes, little goals that I can set for myself. And if I think about sort of the changes that I've made in 2025, it's been pretty profound, actually. Just thinking about even just, I thought maybe I'd also, while I'm talking to you, I'm also going to do some photography, just get some stuff done. That worked out really well last week, getting a bunch of photos done. And then I was able to just list them. Oops. And this time I put some underwear on my girls because last time they didn't really have a lot of underwear or at least properly fitting underwear. So we got the big light on now. So changes. I'm curious about you all, if you feel like making, big sweeping changes is the move for you. in 2026? Or are you more about sort of intentional intentional goals that can be met fairly easily, or not necessarily easily, but, you know, incrementally, instead of these big sweeping changes, right? So I really like the idea of sort of one step at a time. I think it's the way to go. All right. Where is my phone? There we go. So yeah, I've been taking photos on my phone. Oh gosh. And it's been working out really well. And just getting everything listed super fast is pretty amazing. I was thinking about in terms of how I used to list when I used to hire people to get my listings done, and my cross listing and my sharing and my photos. So big difference from what's happening now. And it just goes to show you that, you know, incrementally little changes can really amount to huge successes, huge wins. I used to do every photo. It would charge me, the photographer would charge me $1 for every item that they photographed. So maybe 4 or 5, you know, front, side, back, and then a tag. And I would have to pay, that would be about $1 for that, to outsource that. And then with regards to my listing, cross-listing, and sharing, I hired people for that. And that ended up costing me about $1.50 per item. So I was paying probably $2 at the end of the day, $2.50. And this is with Upwork. So they charge tax and stuff like that. And I was probably paying about $2.50 when I was outsourcing everything. And, you know, that's fine. But at this point, now that I'm sort of able to use software and things like that to accomplish the same thing in a shorter amount of time, and I'm saving I'm saving quite a bit of money, actually, because I would say it's about 3 times cheaper for me to, and in terms of the time savings, I did the math, and we are looking at a 900% increase in efficiency. Isn't that crazy? And it wasn't like done all at once. It was sort of incrementally, right? I started cross-listing first and then we got AI, and that was a huge time savings. And then now we have the AI listing, and that's a huge time savings. I would say I went from, it used to take me about 10 minutes to do a listing from start to finish, from photographs to getting the listing done, to cross-listing it, to sharing it. I would say all of that would take me about 10 minutes per item. And now it's down to about, I would say, a minute, because I would say like the photos, maybe 35 seconds, the listing, maybe 35 seconds. So maybe a little bit over a minute, and then checking it, maybe a minute, and, you know, cross-listing it and can be done at the same time. And then sharing, of course, is done by a bot. So that doesn't really even take any time at all. And yeah, so I did the math, and I was just astounded. I was astounded at the amount of money I was saving per month, and at the increase in efficiency. So what used to take, you know, how many hours a day, you know, between me and the people that I was hiring, I mean, gosh, several hours per day. Gosh, you know, one third of that time, I would say, at least. So cost or time savings. So, you know, little things, little increments of change can make a huge difference. So let's get to, so anyways, I was just curious about what you all are doing for your resolutions, if you're making any resolutions, or if you're kind of like, you know, maybe I'll just do things on an incremental basis. And I do believe in goal setting. I think goal setting is really important. And I think that if you don't have goals, you know, that might be a problem. But goal setting is really important. But you need to sort of have realistic goals and goals that that are attainable. That's my whole take on this whole New Year's resolution thing this year. So yeah, so let's get right into doing. I actually so last time I did this, I was talking about a little bit of glare, that I was experiencing a little bit of glare, and so I was thinking about buying one of those cones, and I did. I went ahead and I spent the, I don't know, $60 at V Flat World, and I got the cones. So so next time I will be doing photographs with the cone, and I'll tell you how much I like it and how much it, if it actually does reduce glare. Because some of these items that I'm listing, there's a little bit of glare because they're new, they're in packaging. And then I'm also going to be getting into doing some items that, jewelry and things like that this year. I'm going to be changing up what I'm listing and sourcing and listing some stuff that will have glare. And so I want to make sure that that doesn't, show on the listing itself. Let's see here. I've got lots of stuff too, lots of more things I can list or I can take pictures of. So let's see. So yeah, so I went ahead and sprang for the $60 anti-glare cone. So we'll see how that works out. I'm kind of excited about it. Sometimes you do have to make investments in because I was looking at DIYing it, and I was like, I really don't have time to DIY something. So I just went ahead and, any investment that you make in your business is, of course, tax deductible, right? If you have an LLC. So that's awesome. And so that's one investment that I made so far this year that I am excited about. I'm excited to try it. So what else? Hope you all had a good holiday. No snow for us. We were worried a little bit about snow. We had heard that there was the possibility of snow. And of course here, when there's snow, everything shuts down because there's no infrastructure for it, unfortunately. And it just becomes kind of a nightmare. And so while it's nice to have a white Christmas, it's also kind of stressful because then you get trapped in your house. And sometimes the power goes out because we have a lot of trees that fall, and yeah, it just becomes kind of a nightmare. So kind of grateful for not having a white Christmas this year. Let's see, what else can I list? Let's see. This is definitely the time to start listing the sports bras. And I'm excited that people are getting back to basics now. The era of gift giving is over because Christmas is over, and people are starting to focus on basics, which is great because that's what I sell. So I've already seen an uptick in my sales, which is amazing. So let's see here. There we go. So yeah. So just thinking in terms of small incremental changes this year, nothing big. I think I might get back to listing 10 a day now that I can easily do that without a ton of work. This is strange. Let's pin this. Because I found when I was listing 10 a day, I kind of, in 2025, I kind of was inconsistent with my listing. And that's only because I had several jobs. I didn't actually quit my day job until last March. Yeah, last March. So I had essentially 3 jobs for most of 2025. And I didn't actually quit my day job until March. And so my listing was a little bit erratic, just not having the time to do as much listing. Luckily, like I said, I did have replenish, pretty sweet kind of semi-replenishable situation that made it easy to, sell similar. But then I realized I have all these one-offs that are sitting here, and oops, I got myself into a situation where I needed to start photographing and selling the one-offs, and that's what I'm doing now. And so that'll clear a lot of space in my area. I won't have as many boxes of unlisted inventory, and that'll be amazing. I'm looking forward to having boxes of listed inventory instead of boxes of unlisted inventory. That's a win. And yeah, moving from it taking me 10 minutes to do from photography to listing and cross-listing and sharing to just a matter of a minute or so, right? Maybe. And because you can cross-list and list kind of at the same time if you use the AI listing program. So yeah, so that's a win. That is a win. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is going very, very smoothly. Once you get things, once you get systems in place and establish your rhythm, you can really knock out a bunch of listings pretty quickly. And I'm finding that it's motivating me to get more done because it's taking me less time, and that's really amazing. I love when things take less time and you can be more efficient, right? That's the best. So what else? Let me take a little break here, have a little bite of my breakfast. I'm eating Trader Joe's spanakopita. It's quite good. Nobody ate it this time. Last time I bought myself a Trader Joe's treat and somebody ate it. And I was like, not this time. So I hid it. I hid it under the broccoli. That's the move. And you hide it under the broccoli. So what else? I don't know. I don't really have that much to talk about. Trends. I was going to goof on all the upcoming trends because, in 2026, we're probably moving beyond the year of, what was 2025? It was the year of like demure, coquette, and everybody's wearing these big bows, right? In terms of fashion. Not that I'm a fashion seller, but sometimes if I have a bra that's, for example, this guy right here, what are the keywords I would use? Maybe demure, right? Coquette, whatever. But and maybe if I get into selling more jewelry, I'll use some more of those types of keywords, but I need to know what the keywords are for 2026. So what I did, I went on Pinterest and I said, what's going to be, in style for 2026? And I don't pay a ton of attention to the styles, but it's good to know what people are thinking about, right? So I don't know, Mr. Treecat, if you can show this. This is the Pinterest predictions for 2026. And so maybe some of these will help you with your keywords that you're using. And maybe it'll help you with in terms of what you're sourcing. So what I noticed was the words poet core. Okay, so let's go through this one by one. So every year Pinterest does this end of year, it looks into its search queries, right? And it predicts the trends for the coming year. And so these are 21 trends across fashion, beauty, interiors, travel, and food. Okay, so glamourati. Okay, so they're saying that minimalism, there's no more millennial minimalism. Okay, it's all about glamour Glamourati. So they're looking at the decade of decadence is back. Okay. Tailored suits with structured shoulders. Funnel necks will be the foundation for every outfit, and accessories are all about large, bold, and chunky pieces, which is great because, like I said, I have a stockpile of jewelry that I want to list, and I've got lots of chunky, bold pieces. So that's cool. Now, this one I thought was very funny. Poet core. Okay. So maybe last year was grandma core, or what was it? Coastal grandma. Well, we're moving from grandma core to poet core. Okay. So, I guess we're going to see a lot of oversized collars, vintage blazers, classic messenger bag. The tie is going to have a comeback. Okay, interesting. So poet core is, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just, some of these things just strike me as kind of silly and funny. But you know what? If it helps you sell something, why not use it, right? So this is the cape. This is going to be the year of the cape, the opera aesthetic. Okay. Again, we'll see how that plays out. Extra celestial. The aliens have landed and they have fantastic taste, is how Pinterest is expressing this trend forecast. So it's all about opalescent elements. So if you're selling jewelry, maybe opalescent things, holographic accents, silhouettes straight out of a sci-fi film. Okay, searches for alien core aesthetic increased by 80%. Alien core, think about that. Okay, wilderkind. One of the more whimsical trends is wilderkind. So Gen Z and boomers are fully embracing the animal print aesthetic. And I have also heard that Bambi, not cheetah, but Bambi animal print is going to be big this year. So that's interesting. Broached. Now this one actually caught my eye because I do have a lot of jewelry that I'm going to be selling in 2026. And so brooches are a big aesthetic right now, apparently, going into 2026. Searches for brooch aesthetic went up 110%. Brooches for men's suits were up. Searches were up 90%. Maximalist accessories up 105%, and heirloom jewelry are trending. So this is interesting. You can see this lady's got a series of little brooches on her collar, and that's actually kind of cute. I mean, I'm there for it. Lace is another one. Okay, this is great because I do have a lot of this type of lacy stuff that I want to sell. So I will definitely make sure that I'm using lace as a hashtag. So let's see, simply add a layer of lace and the look is complete. Lace over a bag, lace top, tights that look like lace, a lace overskirt. Pinterest users searched for terms like lace belt. That was up 55%. Lace bandana, that was up 150%. And so lace is going to be a big thing. Cool blue, that's going to be one of the big, ice blue is going to be one of the big color trends, and those ice blue wedding dress searches increased by 55% according to Pinterest. I also noticed that Pantone, their color of the year is basically white. Basically, this is the color of the year. Cool, right? Whatever. And then finally, khaki coated. So another color trend this year is going to be khaki, and combined with the explorer look. So maybe explorer core could be another, tag that you might use. So that's interesting. So I mean, that's the one that's like where you get the field jackets and the paleontologist aesthetic. All right. So hey, some things to think about as you do your listings and do your hashtags or your tags that you're using. And, so you can see if you're a person that sells by style, which I am not, I sell basics, but it's never going to hurt, right? It's never going to hurt to, is this poet core? I don't know, but it's never going to hurt. I think you can do, how many tags can you do on Poshmark now? Like three tags. So it doesn't ever hurt to add another one that's style focused, just to see what happens. Because some people may be, searching for poet core or alien core, or what were the other ones? Lace, brooch, extra celestial, opera, core. So there's just some interesting new things to think about this year, guys. And everything, nothing stays the same. Everything always changes. And so you just have to kind of roll with the punches, right? Back on me. There we go. So lots to think about for 2026. Are you going to make a resolution, or are you going to think more in terms of small, attainable goals that you can reach daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly? Are you going to incorporate some of these new trending tags? I might. It depends on what you sell. I mean, are you going to look for items that are ice blue or khaki? Maybe you start to incorporate some of that in your sourcing, or what have you. But it's a new year. There's lots of new opportunities. There's ways to increase your efficiencies and your time, decrease your time and save money. I'm excited about that. And so there's lots of things that I'm really excited about for 2026. And, we'll see how it goes, but hey, take those attainable steps, right? Take those attainable steps, in terms of what you're going to do and what you're not going to do, because both of those things, both of those sort of resolutions, I'm going to do this, I'm not going to do this, need incremental steps to get there. So don't forget that you need daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly wins to make your ultimate goals happen. So that's all I wanted to say, guys. I'm going to wrap it up here because it's 9:30 and we're going to yoga today, right? Like we do every Saturday. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you in 2026, guys. Mahalo.